Have you ever touched a woman in a way that made her breathe just a little deeper? Lean in just a little closer and suddenly the air between you feels electric. It wasn't sexual. It wasn't what most men don't understand crude. It wasn't even obvious. But it was unforgettable. Here's what most men don't understand. Physical attraction is just about where you touch a woman. It's about how, when, and why you do it. Because if you know the right places, the ones that trigger emotion, trust, and excitement, then even the smallest touch becomes powerful, irresistible, magnetic. You see, women are wired differently. Their most powerful turn-ons aren't always in the places most men aim for. In fact, they're all magic. The places that light her up inside are often subtle, psychological, and emotional. And no, I'm not just joking about her waist, her neck, or anything you learn from a pick-up artist textbook. I'm talking about the hidden zones, the ones her body reacts to when she feels safe around you. The yawns that whisper, I trust you. The yawns that say, touch me again. Button rush. Because when a woman starts sallowing you into her space, not just physically, but energetically, she's giving you access to something sacred. Her nervous system, her emotional corda, and once you touch that, you're not just a man anymore. You become unforgettable. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how a woman's demeanor changes when she likes you touching her? When your fingertips barely graze hers and she doesn't pull away. When your hand touches her back as you guide her through a door and she leans in rather than out. When your legs brush beneath table and she smiles instead of flinching. These are not accidents, these are biological permissions. They're tests and invitations rolled into one, but most men bulldoze right past them. They rush. They grope, they assume. And in doing so, they miss the chance to create real chemistry. The kind that makes her obsessed without ever needing to take off a single piece of clothing. Today, I'll show you the 4 places women secretly love to be touched. When she feels emotionally safe and truly attracted. But don't get it twisted. This isn't a touch here and she's your skin to video. This is for the man who wants to move like a king, not a clown. Because when you learn to touch a woman in these 4 places with presence, with patience, and with powerful subtlety, she doesn't just feel the moment. She remembers it. And long after you've left, she's still replaying it in her mind, still wanting more, still wondering what's next. That is the power of Stoic touch. And in this video, I'll walk you through every one of those places and the psychology behind why they matter more than you think. Let's begin. Most men have no idea how powerful their touch can be. Not because they're incapable, but because they've never been taught how to listen with their hands to understand what a woman's body is silently begging for without her ever saying a word. From the moment we're young, society teaches men touches outcomes. Get the number, get the we are taught to chase out Kemeskis. Get the girl. We're trained to see physical connection as a goal, not as a conversation. And in that process, we forget something crucial. A woman doesn't fall for your hands. She falls for what your hands reveal about who you are. Touch for her is not about technique. It's not about how alpha you act or how fast you move. It's about how safe she feels in your presence. How grounded your energy is when you reach for her. How much you see her, not just their body, but her emotional state. Let me ask you this. Have you ever touched a woman and felt her slightly freeze up? She didn't say no. She didn't pull away, but she wasn't present either. It was like her body left. The moment her smile stayed, but her soul retreated. That wasn't rejection. That was a lack of resonance. She didn't feel you were in tune with her, and that's what turned her off. Now flip that. Have you ever gently touched a woman's hand, waist, or back, and she paused? Not because she was uncomfortable, but because Yordic disarmed her armor. It wasn't just your skin on hers. It was your intent that reached through her walls. That meant brother is everything. It's what turns a casual moment into chemistry. It's what transforms a friend into a fantasy. And it's what makes a high value. Women feel safe to desire you because your presence speaks louder than your moves. You see, there are certain places a woman doesn't ask to be touched, but when you do it the right way, she melts. Not because she's easy, not because you're playing tricks, but because she recognizes something rare. A man who understands her emotional landscape. A man who doesn't force hairpin, but invites her to open. This is what most men will never learn, and why so many fail with women they actually care about. They focus on seduction, but forget about subtlety. They try to turn her on without ever turning her inward, and they ignore the most important truth of all. For a woman, attraction starts in the nervous system, not the body. And you activate that through presence, the 4 zones through awareness, and yes, through dick. But here's the twist. The place women love to be touched the most are usually the ones that seem the least sexual. They're the places that activate emotion. Places tied to trust, intimacy, and unspoken tension. These 4 zones seem about to reveal they're not what most dating gurus will tell you. They're not the seduction hacks or cheap tricks. These are the places. High-value men learn to respect, to approach with sensitivity, and to use with timing, not desperation. When you touch a woman the right way in these 4 areas, you don't just stimulate her, you ground her. You have magnetic attraction begins to censor her emotions to your presence, and long after your hand is gone, that feeling remains. She thinks about it while she's brushing her hair. She remembers it when she sees your name on her phone. She replays it when she's laying awake at night, wondering what made you feel so different from Therist. And that's how true magnetic attraction begins. So if you're the kind-off man who doesn't want surface-level advice, if you're not here to trick her but to understand her, if you want to cultivate the kind of presence that women naturally trust, respect, and crave, then stay right here because we're about to go deep into the psychology of physical connection. I'll reveal the 4 secret places women love to be touched, and more importantly, how to touch them in a way that feels effortless, masculine, and magnetic. The silent art of touch. Let's dive in. Let's be brutally honest for a second. A lot of men mess this up, not because they're bad guys, but because they never learned the silent art of touch. They think touch is about obvious zones, hands, hips, lips, but in truth, the most powerful. Plus, us to touch a woman are the ones that trigger emotional chemistry, not just physical. The kind of touch that isn't sexual but becomes unforgettable. That kind of connection that makes her feel something long after you've left the smell of her back room. So today we're not talking about cheap thrills. We're talking about how high-value, emotionally intelligent men know exactly how to touch a woman's shirt through the most overlooked physical cues. Let's break it down deeply, slowly, and with the precision of a man who knows that true masculine power is calm, quiet, and deadly effective. 1. The smell of her back, where masculine protection meets feminine vulnerability. It's not just an old school movie move. The smell of a woman's back is one of the most sensitive, instinctively intimate places you can touch when done right. Why? Because it's a space between 2 centers. Her hips, where sensuality lives, and her heart, where trust is born. When a man places his hand there lightly, protectively, confidently, it speaks volumes. You're not grabbing, you're guiding. You're not asserting demands. You're providing direction. Think of it like this. When you're walking through a door and gently place your hand there to guide her forward, it's not about the move. It's about the unspoken message behind it. I've got you. I'm aware of you. I'm close, but I respect your space. This one touch, if timed, and delivered with masculine calm, can ignite her feminine core in ways she doesn't even fully understand. Because it's rare, and what's rare is her wrist remembered. 2. Her wrist, where control meets intimacy. Here's one no one talks about. The wrist is a delicate, intimate, and exposed part of body. It's where the pulse beats. It's also where tension and emotion gather quietly. When you touch a woman's wrist, not grab, not hold, but lightly graze or rest your fingers there. Yao send a message. I could hold you out tighter, but I choose softness. I notice you send a message, you, not just your body. I see your sensitivity, and I respect it. This is especially powerful when you do it during a moment of laughter, emotional conversion, or even while handing her something. It's a micro-touch. They're a linetist. But in a world of roughness and ego, subtlety becomes irresistibly magic. The wrist is a psychological bridge between safety and sensuality. You're not just touching skin. You're touching her emotional openness. And then she starts associating that soft feeling with you, she crave it. And you. 3. The back of her neck. The ancient trigger of feminine receptivity. Now this one is ancient evolutionary, biological, biblical. The back of a woman's neck has deep primal significance. In many mammal species, that's the part where males initiate bonding, protection, or dominance. But in humans, it goes deeper. It's not about control, it's about vulnerability and trust. Touching. The back of a woman's neck gently with warmth during a deep hug or soft conversation sends a signal straight to her subconscious. I'm present, I'm grounded, you're safe. It's vulnerability and trust even more powerful if she's stressed, anxious, or emotionally overloaded. The tone touch can lower her guard instantly. Because it bypasses her thinking brain. It speaks to her nervous system. Becky, it must be intentional, not fumbling, no rush. You simply let your fingertips rest there while making eye contact or holding her close. That stillness, that moment is unforgettable. Because to a woman who rarely feels truly seen or protected, that touch is medicine. For behind the knee, unexpected zone of sensual surprise. Now, let's end with the most surprising. Behind her knee. Yes, you read that behind the knee right. Most men never think of it. But behind the knee is one of the most nerve-rich and sensual zones on her body. Why? Because it's unexpected. Because it's sensitive. Because it's cinemate without being cliché. A light brush here when sitting close, laughing, or even while teasing her playfully can't spark reactions she didn't see coming. It's ticklish. It's disarming. It's subtly erotic without crossing any obvious lines. And that's the secret. True attraction lies in the unexpected. When you make her feel feminine, noticed, and excited in ways that aren't predictable, you separate yourself from the rest. This one touch can cause air-shift giggles, a playful flinch, or a look of surprise. And every one of those reactions builds memory. Because again, recap, the real magic happens when you're subtle, not forceful. When you're elegant, not vulgar, when you're confident enough to let her feel it instead of forcing it. So let's recap. In the way only a stoic man would. At the small of her back shows calm masculine guidance. Her wrist efficacy through softness. At the back of her neck taps into primal comfort and emotional depth. Up behind her knee ignites surprise and sensual intrigue. Every one of these touches must be earned, not expected. They are rewards of presence, confidence, and restraint, because here's what most men don't get. It's not about being sexy, it's about being grounded. And grounded men become it's about being grounded unforgettable. Now, here's the part where most men just walk away, but you're not most men. You're here because you want to understand women, not just impress them. You want to move with purpose, not desperation. You are learning how to lead, not chase. So here's what I want you to do right now, not tomorrow, not next week, right now, because information without action is just noise, but applied wisdom. That's power. Backhand index pointing down, scroll down, and tap that red subscribe button. Not just for more content, but because every week I give you the raw, unfiltered insights that help you build your masculine power. Not pick-up tactics, not manipulation, but stoic, grounded energy that makes you magnetic without ever begging for attention. Leave a comment next, leave a comment below. Tell me, which of these 4 places have you experienced changing the game with a woman? Or maybe which one surprised you most? Your story might help another man out. This channel isn't just about me talking. It's about building a tribe of high-value men who are done being confused, ignored, or used. Men who walk into a room and shift the atmosphere not by flexing, but by being unshakably present. And if you're serious about transforming your life, relationships, and confidence from the inside out, go check out the other videos I've got waiting for you. They're not just videos, they're blueprints. Each one will help you unlock a deeper part of yourself, so you stop being just another guy on your phone and become the man she can't stop thinking about. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just about to be aware, calm, and unapologetic. Because in a world full of noise, fake confidence, and weak men pretending to be alpha, the quiet man sees deeply, touches with meaning, and leads without forcing. He becomes unforgettable. I'll see you in the next one in Stoic State.